Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self to ultimately create the life that you desire and deserve? As I do in all of my readings, I have pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second, but I still have the tarot deck I'll be using, the clarification deck, and the advice deck that I'll be pulling from to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Aquarius, let's jump on in. In your recent past, you have it's time to release negativity with the Nine of Wands. I feel like you have been stuck in a cycle for a while that has kind of held you back from, I feel like saying the life that you desire, the life that you deserve is a little bit too overarching. Like, I feel like this is some specific situation, something that added more negativity to your life than it did positivity. And this cycle, I feel, is starting to come to a close. Now, in your current energy, you have don't let your past hold you back with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. You know, the closer that we get to the end of a cycle, the harder it is to fully break that cycle. Like, the emotions run higher. Situations seem a little bit more intense and stressful, and it's harder to it's almost as if everything that you've learned throughout the cycle comes up at once. And, you know, I feel like the don't let your past hold you back is this energy of when we're in the process of closing a cycle, your ego is going to do everything in its power to pull you back to that cycle. Your ego wants to actually stay in cycles that are predictable, even if it's not actually what's best for you. So it'll keep you in relationships or situationships or relationship dynamics or financial situations or careers that don't really make you happy, or again, like, add more negativity to your life, because it actually prefers what those things feel like, even if it doesn't feel good, because it knows what it feels like. It knows, your ego knows how to handle it. So you're kind of in this energy of closing out a cycle, and you might be feeling really intense right now, and just know that it's almost like your ego's trying to pull you back, like back to the cycle, back to where you've been. Now, in your immediate future, you're very close to achieving your goal with the World card, and then the overall theme for the reading is bountiful harvest. So I feel like this is like what's waiting for you on the other side of this cycle, on the other side of fully closing out this cycle, fully stepping into a new beginning, allowing new opportunities, space to come in. I feel is where you're going to start to experience kind of just better things, almost like that's what it kind of feels like bigger and better things, but you're kind of being required maybe to leave behind certain things or certain habits or relationships or people that don't really serve where you're going or can't come with you where you're going. So I don't know. That's just the overall energy. Let's dive in. This is for Aquarius' recent past. It's time to release negativity with the Nine of Wands here. What does Aquarius need to know about their past energy? Ten of Swords. This is painful. And I feel like this had been going on for a while, this Ten of Swords. Another way that I kind of read the Ten of Swords is kind of like a last straw kind of energy. A last straw, like it's like that final knife that just makes you go, no, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I feel like there's the World. This has been a very painful cycle for you, Aquarius. I don't know what this is, but I feel like it's almost like you're in the process of releasing yourself from this. Recent past for Aquarius. Empress in reverse. Ooh, okay. So this cycle, it required you, I feel like it didn't allow you to take care of yourself, to put yourself first, to prioritize yourself. It was very much maybe an energy of overgiving or burning yourself out, or I'm not quite sure exactly what it was, but it became your comfort zone. It's like you became so comfortable with this pain, almost like this Ten of Swords and this Empress in reverse. Like you became comfortable in this dynamic, which I feel is why it went on for a while. But like overall, this is very much opposite of this bountiful harvest, this like beautiful, oh my gosh, that was weird. This like beautiful like painting, this beautiful image of like what, you're wanting your life to be. It's like this is what you were experiencing instead. So this is intense. All right, what else does Aquarius need to know about their past energy? Ooh. Four of Cups, Two of Cups, Nine of Swords. You got your head confused with your heart. You got your head confused with your heart here. You thought you were following your heart, you were following your head. So Two of Cups, Four of Cups, Nine of Swords. It's almost like, because what I mean by that is your heart is always going to draw you into places that align with your worth, that align with your value, that allow you to thrive. Your head is always going to think like kind of heart versus ego. Like your head is always going to try to draw you to places that can minimize fear the most. That's going to make you feel the most in control, that feels the most comfortable. So like when we talk about deeper cycles in our life, like not just the cycles of like one specific painful relationship or one specific job or anything like that, but the deeper cycles of being used to being in a dynamic where you are not treated well, or being used to not being properly compensated for the energy and effort that you give. Like these are deeper cycles that I feel we're tend to be drawn to, because we actually prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. Our ego, call it your nervous system, likes to be in places that it has the most like prediction of how things are going to work out, right? We kind of talked about that. And I feel like that draw to something that was actually a very similar dynamic to what you're used to was it's like you thought you were following your heart, but you were actually following your head, your nervous system, your ego. You were following what was familiar, not what was drawing you to what you actually deserve, which is actually going to be very far out of your comfort zone. So, and we all do it, okay? I could tell you probably a million different examples in my life where I followed my heart or my head over my heart. But sometimes we have to be aware of, how our nervous system, ego, is always going to draw us into places that, and dynamics, relationships, like that feel familiar, that feel that you're used to. And sometimes we don't even realize it's happening. But that's why awareness is the first step to change, because you have to become aware of how these things are happening before you can even actually make different choices. Current energy for Aquarius, don't let your past hold you back, with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. What does Aquarius need to know about their current energy? So the universe is trying to move you forward into new opportunities, new experiences, into like this bountiful harvest energy. There's a lot of grief in your energy right now. Sadness, grief. And I get why. I mean, this is going to absolutely result in this Five of Cups. But I think that a big part of that is you're looking at this as like, oh, my best days are behind me, or like my ability to be happy has been lost. Like that past experience was as good as it could have gotten, or I don't know exactly what it is, but something like that. Like the belief that your best days are behind you in some way, like no matter how old you are. And I feel like this is what the universe is saying. These things didn't work out or had to come to an end, or are having to come to an end, not because you can never be happy again, but because this Empress in reverse is an indication that this didn't align with your worth, with your value, with what was best for you, for your heart, mind, soul. Now I don't want to say like, don't be sad, just be happy, because we have to process, you're a human being going through human experiences. You're going to have to process everything you're going through. But in the back of your mind, hold on to this idea that maybe even on the other side of the situation are far better experiences than you even thought possible. What does Aquarius need to know about their current energy? Heard the best is yet to come. Okay, yeah, and then I pull the Queen of Swords with the Ten of Pentacles. Are you kidding me? And then the Death card. The best is yet to come. So this death is an indication of closing out a cycle. But then you have this Queen of Swords and the Ten of Pentacles. This is you, Aquarius, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. The feminine energy within us is that energy of receiving, opening yourselves up to receive, knowing your value, knowing your worth enough to receive. We all have feminine and masculine energies within us. And I feel like this is like, the death is like on the other side, like closing out this cycle is only going to lead to good things. Like the best is yet to come. Even though it might not feel like it. I just get this like, oh, my life is over. I don't know, it's intense, or like I'll never be happy, or I'll never be successful, or like that's as good as it's gonna get, like my best days are behind me. And it's super not true at all. I'm not saying like there aren't still gonna be not so good days, because that's part of life, but I actually feel like the best is yet to come, again, no matter your age. Current energy for Aquarius. What does Aquarius need to know about where they're currently at? Chariot and then the Nine of Pentacles. You're moving toward wish fulfillment, not away from it. You're moving away from what your head wants, moving toward what your heart and your soul truly desires, this bountiful harvest. So you're moving away from what isn't meant for you and toward what is. So I feel like, and that's why you have don't let your past hold you back. Don't hold on so tightly to your past that you miss out on your future, because your future is just as good, if not better. It's a different phase of your life for sure, like a different experiences. It's kind of what life is about, right? But it doesn't mean that the happiness, the joy, the peace, the security, the fulfillment, the good feelings associated with the past experience that eventually, like, that is coming to a close, or this cycle that's coming to a close, like, those things still exist ahead of you. And actually, I feel like even more so than before. Okay, immediate future for Aquarius. It's like there are opportunities you're not even aware of. That's, I feel like, typically why we think the best is behind us, is because we're like, well, I don't see the opportunities that could make that happen. I don't see how that's possible. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to have the faith. What does Aquarius need to know moving forward? You're very close to achieving your goal with the world. And the Page of Pentacles. Oh my gosh. Tangible opportunities. Tangible. It's like bringing the Ace of Pentacles down to earth. Like this is you in your hand holding opportunities that you're not even aware of yet. Because these opportunities can't find you until this cycle fully closes out. And remember, a cycle isn't fully closed just when like a situation ends. It's when you're presented with the choice to choose to repeat the cycle and you don't. That's when a cycle closes, is when you are presented with it again and you make a different choice. You choose not to repeat it. This is a big thing in relationships. We'll attract people over and over again that we kind of experience the same relationship, but in like different people, or sometimes it can be with one person. You attract it over and over again. You're like, this time will be different, this time, but it ends up the same. That cycle doesn't fully close until you're presented with like that familiar dynamic, but you choose not to invest in it. Like you walk away from it, you leave it behind you. And on the other side of the cycle for you, Aquarius, oof, so much good. Can happen in careers too. You'll kind of like bounce around from one, maybe company to the next, and you're like, why am I not happy? I'm undervalued and underpaid everywhere I go, and I'm burning myself out. And it's because it's not the specific place that you're at. It's the, it's the overarching like role or the path in general. Like there's always something when an outcome appears over and over again in your life, there is something that you can do differently to avoid that outcome. There's always a deeper cycle associated. I'm not saying it's like your fault, because again, your trauma is not your fault. And we tend to repeat cycles because, remember, I talked about how our ego or nervous system prefers those cycles, and we prefer those cycles because we've experienced those cycles. So it's not your fault. But if you want things to change in your life, you have to kind of be willing to look at, first of all, what have I been repeating, which is the hardest step. I would say, and then second of all, what can I do to stop repeating this? That's actually probably the hardest step. I don't know, it's all hard. None of it's easy, but it's all worth it. All right, what else does Aquarius need to know moving forward? It's like abundant opportunities that you're not aware of. And it could be for many different things, relationships, financial abundance. Does Aquarius need to know moving forward? I like the way that came out. 6 of Swords. But it's all ahead of you. It all requires you to move forward. I feel like that's why you have don't let your past hold you back. This isn't about going back to your past. It's not going back to old situations or old dynamics, old relationships, old careers. This isn't about going backwards. This is about allowing yourself to move forward to new opportunities, even if you're not fully sure what those are yet. For me, like before new opportunities in my life tend to appear, I'm actually typically presented with the option to go back to old opportunities. It happens like almost every single time. It's like before something good or new appears in my life, it's like the universe tests me. And it's like, well, are you going to go back to this? Are you going to settle for this? Are you going to do this again? And every time I say no, something better always seems to appear. It's like believing in the possibility of better. Believing in the possibility of a unfamiliar heaven, even though you're so used to being in a familiar hell. All right, one more. What does Aquarius need to know moving forward? Oh, wow, okay. The Lovers. This is literally like aligning with your worth, aligning with what you're deserving of. To me, I feel like this is kind of the opposite of the Empress in reverse in this reading in particular, like the way that it's coming out. I'm not saying that I think that card usually is, but a little bit different, because the Empress in reverse is kind of like the inner value that you hold in a way, and then the Lovers is kind of like the outer reflection of like what you're willing to accept. We tend to accept in alignment with what we deserve. So when we tend to accept in alignment with what we think we deserve. So when we don't really value ourselves, we're going to accept less than what we deserve. So Empress in reverse leads to the Lovers in reverse. Empress upright leads to the Lovers is kind of what kind of how I'm viewing this. And so this is about, once you start kind of seeing like you are deserving of more, and you don't have to, stay in places that don't, treat you well, or don't value you, or don't allow you to take care of yourself or treat yourself well. Like when you start to recognize that and you don't go back to opportunities that require you to undervalue yourself, you're going to attract better opportunities into your life. There's this kind of post that's floating around the internet, and it says it's funny how when you finally decide that you deserve better, the universe opens doors to make that happen. And it could not be more true. Like in the absolute truest sense, it's like when you say like, I'm done with this, like I'm not putting any more energy into dealing with this person, this situation, this dynamic. Like I've tried, I can't do it, it's hurting me, I deserve better. And you move into the space of allowing new to appear. New always does appear, but first I always feel like there's this little like test of the universe going like, are you going to go backwards? Like, are you going to go back to this? Are you going to, choose to repeat this cycle? And, the second that you go, no, I'm done, I can't do this anymore. And the universe is like, cool. Okay. We've been hoping that was what you'd say here. Here's a new open doors. And I feel like that's what this is about. Is like doors start to open for you because you stop like going back through the old ones. So then new doors start to open. All right, we're going to hop on over to the extended Aquarius. We're going to focus on what you can do right now to move forward and align with your higher self. This is what you need to know. It's kind of like a little bit more tangible what you can do. Any information for that is in the description box below. Thank you so much, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today, obviously. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.